Power Monday. Come on, y'all. Power Monday. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? What? What? What's going on, y'all? What's going on? How y'all doing? Power Monday. Happy Power Monday. All up in the house. All up in your area. It's the Daily Go Getimism Show. I'm your host, Son 752, aka Omar with the. And if you can't say Omar with the, well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show. I am your host, Son 752. I'm feeling like a real man should. And I hope y'all feel like real men and women should also. Tonight, well, this morning for some of y'all, we are talking about coming home for Christmas. Yo, Uncle Joe Biden has commuted like 37 federal death penalty cases down to life without parole. It's a very controversial decision. And a lot of people agree with it. A lot of people think that it's not a good idea. We also have to take into account the victims that may have been affected by the crimes that may have been committed. So we're going to get into that right now, man. You listen, for those of y'all who have never been here before, this is a totally interactive show. Totally interactive. You can get into it and you can also call into the show. And there is no censorship when you call in. So if you would like to call into the show and have your voice heard, no, don't worry. No video. You won't be on video, but your voice will be heard. And there is no censorship. You can say it the way you mean it. You can say it the way you feel it. You can express it the way it is. And the number to call is area code 319-527-6199. That's a number to call. I said a 3195. I got to get this together. It's the new number. I got to get it together. The new number is 267-874-1949. That's the number to call. I said 267-874-1949. Yes, y'all. I said 267-874-1949. Yeah, get on the line. I said it 267-874-1949. Yeah, get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. 267-874-1949, baby. Call 267-879-874-1949. And we can get you on up in here, man. Like I said. All right. So Power Monday all up in your house, man. First of all, how y'all doing? Let me give a shout out to my peoples. Let you know that I know that you're here, and I'm really, really glad that you are. Let's see. We have T. Carey right morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peoples going directly into your site. And Jerry Henning. That's what's up. He said dude. And Ibrahim. What's good, Ibrahim? That's what's up. And Francesco Brandy. And also Ibrahim says LOL. Jerry Itch. Admin seeing. Well, I'm trying to read this shit like this is English. My bad. Well, thanks for coming through, Ibrahim. And Lucy. What up, Lucy? And Alfie. So you're American? I think so. And also, TK Wright says the victims and their families. True. Lucy says, I love your jewelry. You're about to wear a similar style of jewelry in just about a second. Just give me a little second to, get set up properly, and we'll all be looking like this. Matthew Wilson, what's going on? How you feeling, my dude? Good to see me some you. Always good to see you. And Dimples D's outside in the freeze. What's going on? Cheryl Halsey. What up, Cheryl Halsey? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate y'all. And also, let me see, boy, Manzanino. Boy, Manzanino. What's good? And Blue Dog. What up, Blue Dog? Thanks for coming through, y'all. All right. So this is what I need y'all to do. Hit the like button. We got flashes of greatness here. It's all good. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. What up, single blackjack dealer? What's good? Thanks for coming through. I appreciate all of y'all coming through. Appreciate it. Mucho. Not a little bit, but a lot of bit. Not a little bit, a lot of bit. So tonight, we are talking about, what do y'all think? What are your initial thoughts? 37 federal death penalty cases commuted, or should I say 37 out of 40, 37 death penalty convictions commuted to life without parole. Now, if y'all been following this thing, and if you know anything about it, you know that there are layers to this story. There are a lot of opinions to this story. Some you may agree with, some you may totally disagree with, but there's a lot of meat to this story. There's a lot going on with this whole death penalty being commuted to life sentence thing. There's a lot going on with it, because you normally think if it's a death penalty case, 9 times out of 10, then there have been lives offended and ended. You don't normally get sentenced to the death penalty if you haven't killed anybody. Normally, if there's a murder, if there's a lives that have been taken, normally you get the death penalty. As a matter of fact, normally if you get the death penalty, we're talking about multiple lives, double murder, things like that. Now, you can get it on a single, but if in federal cases, if you have received the death penalty, a lot of times, even if you aren't the person who killed anybody, the crimes that were surrounded around you involved somebody who got killed or involved people who got killed. So it all factors in. So That's what we're talking about tonight. That's what we're talking about tonight. Now, in this case, Joe Biden is actually kind of clearing his slate and clearing his name of the whole 94 crime bill thing. You know, for decades, he has worn the badge of being the creator of the 94 crime bill. Not that he was the one who created it by himself. He had help, but he was instrumental in getting it pushed through. But also the Congressional Black Caucus absolutely pushed for the 94 crime bill to get pushed through. It was the crack era coming out of the 80s and in the middle of the 90s. And there was so much violence associated with drug sales, particularly crack cocaine. Now, a lot of drug dealers, particularly black drug dealers and other people of color were arrested, prosecuted, and convicted of these crimes, mainly for crack cocaine. Now, one of the reasons that this was so unbalanced and it was so unjust in the eyes of a lot of people is because back in the 80s, back in the 90s, they did not prosecute crack cocaine the same way as they prosecuted powder cocaine. So for powder cocaine, you could get caught with 5 kilos of cocaine. And you know, a kilo is 2.2 pounds. 2.2 pounds. So you could be caught with 5 kilos of coke, 10 kilos of coke, and maybe receive a sentence of 5-10 years, maybe 15. And that's weight. That's weight. Yet you could be caught with small amounts of crack or be labeled as a crack dealer or crack trafficker. I've never heard the term crack trafficker. We've definitely heard the term drug trafficker, but if it was found that you were dealing in mostly crack cocaine, then they prosecuted that much harsher than they did powder cocaine. So you know that black people and people of color were associated with crack cocaine. So guess who received these sentences? Pookie ain't coming home no more. And Pookie may not make it. Well, Pookie won't come home, but Pookie is definitely going to go home if he received a death sentence. He won't be coming home, but he's going to be going home. So, you know, Joe Biden sort of had a leap of faith. You know, the man is getting older. And, you know, for what it's worth, he's been known to be a somewhat religious man, definitely a spiritual man, definitely steeped in his faith of Catholicism. And he's like, listen, I realize, you know what I mean? Like, as a senator all those years and then a president for this year, vice president for 8 years, I done done some stuff to some niggas. I done done some stuff. Now, if all of that, if you have been raised in the Catholic Church, they say they only need the first 7 years of your life. So if they get the first 7 years of your life, they got you for life. They say you can go ahead and convert to any other religion that you want to. Go ahead. Go ahead, be a Muslim. Go ahead, be a Jew. Go ahead, practice Buddhism, Hinduism, whatever you want to do. You'll be back because that Catholic foundation is laid, and it's hard to get up out of that thing. It's hard. Well, nonetheless, if he believes in Catholicism, Catholics are always pushing that hellfire agenda. They tell you, listen, you don't do the right thing. You don't do the right thing, you gonna burn in hell. Don't do the right thing, you gonna burn in hell. Your friends in the cohort's burning as well. But all of y'all sinners gonna burn in hell. I said burn in hell. Burn in hell. I said, what you gonna do? Burn in hell. So that's what we got. That's what we're working with. Naturalista rap. What's going on, my? Good to see me some you. And also the single blackjack dealer. Hit me. Single blackjack dealer, hit me. Man, I don't care, man. I don't care if I got 19. Hit me. Like, dude, no, you want to stay at 19. No. She got a face card showing. She gonna get 20 and break me. I'm hitting on it. I don't care if I got 20. I'm taking a hit. That ace gonna come up. Bam! What's up? You taking a hit on 19? Are you sure, sir? Yo, man, hit me. Give me that deuce, baby. You gave me a 3. Oh, I won California blackjack. You know, black California style blackjack go up to 22. California blackjack go up to 22. What up, y'all? See, flexing my peoples was good. And the mama Latina, what's up? My good to see you. Always a pleasure. Nothing but a pleasure. TK Wright says they never say that in wait. They never say that in my church, but I know churches that push that. What, that you going to hell? Okay. Where are my evangelists at? Where my tabernacle? Where are my holiness Pentecostals? You are going to hell. You are going to hell. You gotta repent today, or you are going to hell. You gotta do what you got to do, but you are going to hell. And yeah, you had a baby out wet, like, but you're going to hell. All that fornication make you go into hell. I said you have been lying, yo, you're going to hell. And yo, you have been stealing, yo, you're going to hell. You've been covered in thy neighbor, you are going to hell. You are going to hell. You are going to hell. Hey, yo, 10 commandments broken, you are going to hell. You better go to Jesus and better tell everything that you did done. You gotta name that sin. There ain't no way that you're gonna win. You're gonna burn like a fire. Gotta burn like a fire. Gotta burn like a fire. Gotta burn like a fire. Yo, stealing and lying and robbing and raping and all of that shit. No sin is greater than another. But you can always get rid of your sins, my brother. But you gotta repent, and then you be happy. Say you. Other than that, you're going to hell. I said, what's happening? You're going to hell. What you doing? You're going to hell. You're going to hell. You're going to hell. All that adultery, you're going to hell. And you're lying to me, you're going to hell. And you've been lusting after somebody, you're going to hell. You've been going to hell. All right, y'all, man. You know what I mean? Motherfucker act like they don't want to go to hell. Let's get dressed. I'm already dressed. I decided I need to start coming in with my uniform on already. I was already ready to work. What y'all want to do? What do y'all want to do? What the guan? Do y'all want to wear the one on the left? Huh? Cow bones. That's the one on the left. This is the one in the middle. Huh? Darker accents? Huh? Which one? The cow bones or the one on the right? Let me know what y'all saying. Matthew says right. Cheryl says middle. TK Wright says right. We got two for right. Let's do it again. This is the one on the right. And this is the one in the middle. The one in the middle. And this is the one on the left. What are we talking about? All right, we got 2 for middle. And we got 2 for right. We got 2 for middle, 2 for right. This is the left. This is the middle. And this is the right. So we need a tiebreaker. All right, scene flexing says middle, 2 for middle, 2 for right. We stuck. We had a stalemate. We need one more vote. But if the stalemate is a left, All right, come on, come on. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? Y'all taking all day. If y'all take too long, all right. If y'all take, well, we got the middle. Which one? Middle, left, middle, left. All right. Okay. She said to the left. Single blackjack dealer has broken. Wait a minute. To the left. Oh shit. Single blackjack dealer said the one on the left. Oh, we got somebody who broke the chains. Break the chains. All right, so we got one for the left, two for the middle, two for the right. One for the left, two for the middle, two for the left. This is what we're gonna do. Natural. Damn. Naturalist said right. Boom. It's the right. Naturalista rap. She broke the tie. All right, that's what we got. That's what we got. That's what we got. Cow bones. That's what we got. That's what we got. Cow bones. That's what we got. That's what we got. Cow bones. Cow bones. All right, look at y'all. Look at y'all looking good. Ladies, you're looking sweet. You're looking beautiful. You're looking pretty. You're looking sexy. Huh? Y'all looking real snacky right now. Somebody's really gonna try to take y'all home tonight. Watch out, choose wisely. And brothers, you're looking handsome, you're looking suave, you're looking debonair, you're looking smooth. You got on your soft stuff tonight. Everybody looking good. Everybody looking good. All the girls got on heels, all the brothers got on gaiters. Heels and gaiters. Here. Y'all looking nice. Real nice. Take a screenshot. I'll give it what you got. The hell? Okay, take a screenshot. I'll give it what you got. I take a screenshot. You know you like it a lot. I take a screenshot. Yeah, you know how to go. Y'all been rocking out with the man you call the. Oh, all right, let's go, y'all. All right, so what are y'all thinking, man? What are y'all thinking? Hopefully y'all taken some time to Google this thing, find out a little bit more about it. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? 37 federal death sentence convictions commuted to life without parole. I'm gonna put 37. What do y'all think? So, like I was saying, you know, a lot of these convictions came out of the crack era. Now, for all of my 70s or 60s or even 50s cats, or you know, and 80s babies too, because there's a lot of 80s babies that actually had to get well before they could start to grow because they were born addicted to crack. Crack babies, stand up. Some of these crack babies have turned out to be pretty good. You know what I mean? Doing innovative shit. But being born in that era and going through the 90s. So if you were born in the 80s, then the 90s was your time. You know, that's probably the time when you were coming of age, when you were growing up, when you were a teenager, when you were having your fun, when you were establishing your generation, because the 70s babies are Generation X and the 80s babies are millennials. And then you got them Gen Z. Them Gen Z. But anyway. So this is what we're working with. So the 90s, y'all know the 90s was crazy. The 80s was all hip hop, pop music, crack and AIDS. But a lot, when it comes to crack, a lot of people got locked up and basically had the keys thrown away to their cells because of crack sales. That's how violent it was. And then you had of course the 80s was the war on drugs era with Ronald Reagan and all of that. So the crimes were very, very harsh. The penalties were very, very harsh for crack sales. And black people were very instrumental in getting those laws passed. I mean, it was unsafe. It was unsafe for us in the hood. So, you know, some of us were willing to do something about it. And so the 94 crime bill, when that came around, and even though that was during a Democratic administration, they had very, very conservative legislative policies going on. So many of those crack dealers and people associated with that, gangsters and all of that kind of stuff, many of them received federal sentences of death penalty. Now you got to think, man, but now one of the problems that they've had with these with a lot of these cases is that many of those cases that were actually those death penalties that were carried out were later found to have been mistaken. Like, one of the reasons why they always maintained their innocence is because they were. Many of those convicts who were actually killed in the death penalty were later found out that no, they didn't do that. They did something, but they didn't do what the death penalty called for. So Joe Biden is saying that he doesn't think that for crimes other than domestic terrorism and things like that, that the crimes that directly threaten the American public, like, because the three that didn't get commuted, they committed like terrorist crimes. He was like, nah, y'all go ahead, y'all gonna get y'all just desserts. But all them black kids over there and Puerto Ricans, I should say those Hispanics and all of that. Nah, y'all ain't coming home. Y'all ain't coming home. But this will allow y'all to still have a chance to have your cases re-examined, possibly appealed, and maybe you'll come home one day. There's a difference between coming home. When you get out of jail, you coming home. When you have the death penalty carried out, you going home. See, you want to come home. You don't want to go home. When you come home, you got a place to stay. Your kids are finally going to be with you. Your wife, your girl, your family. You get to come back around the way. That's what happens when you come home. When you go home, people come to your funeral, your burial. They got to ask people for input on your obituary. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he had a special friend or two. Yeah, he graduated. He didn't graduate high school, but we got to say that he did. He was educated at, he was educated at what? He was educated in the Philadelphia public school system, and he had a lot of teachers, but he just dissed them. He had a better plan, plus he had crack in his hand, and he was going to make sure that he had more money than anyone in the land. He stand on biz, you know what it is, and now he's separated from his kids and his whiz. But he ain't coming home. He ain't going home. He is in a cell all by himself, but not alone, because there's a lot of people that are in the same boat. But they got a different story than he wrote. Okay, all right. Forget about all that. Forget about all that. What up? Okay. That's right. Heels and gators. That's what it is. Son. Take care, right? Says crack had people selling their kids for real. Literally. And that's what Lisa Rapp said. True, Carrie. That's why I said what I said earlier. Well, let me see what you said. What you say? Let me see what you said, son. What you say? All you said is we cute either way. All right. What else? All right. No way. It's not funny. What's not funny? West Philadelphia, born and raised. No. Not West Philly, born and raised. Shout out to West Philly, but I wasn't born or raised out there. Germantown, born and raised. That's right. Uptown stand up, even though Germantown ain't uptown, but just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We didn't even used to have an uptown. We do now. TK Wright says, I thought that he changed it to life without parole. He did. That's why I said they not coming home. They not coming home, but they might be going home. See, they not coming home, but because he commuted it to life without parole, they not going home. You know, when you go home, it's a lot of flower bringing. It's a lot of slow singing, the flower bringing with my burglar alarm starts ringing. Yeah. So no, they ain't coming home. He didn't pardon nobody, but he has been pardoning some people. Joe been getting his pardon on, like he's trying to, because he knows, and he spoke about this whole thing. He even mentioned Donald Trump's name. He's like, listen, man, I can't let the bull come in here and undo some things that need to be done. I need to solidify some things because, you know, there are legacy implications here. But what I really want to know know from y'all is, what do y'all think about this overall if you know about it? And what do you think about it? What do you think about the death penalty? Let's talk about that for a second. What do y'all think about that? Do you agree with the death penalty? Do you agree that if you take a life, your life should be taken away from yours? Eye for an eye is right there in the Bible. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. That's what it said, right? That's what it say. GK Wright says, LOL, she said that powder cocaine didn't have family members selling Christmas gifts. Yes, it did. Shit. That powder, you know, that's the funny thing about the whole powder cocaine thing. Crack is more extreme as far as the high is concerned. But that's part of the problem with the powder sniffers, because you can't tell them shit. They think they got money, even though all of their money is going up their nose. And I'm wondering, what's the difference between what's the difference between all of your money being spent going in your lungs and all of the money being spent going up your nose? Well, one of the biggest differences between crack cocaine and powder cocaine is crack hits harder, much harder. Like that blast, from what I've been told, gives you a high that you've never experienced before. You be feeling like you up here. If you was feeling bad, it gets rid of all those bad feelings. Like you feel like you are on top of the world, literally. Now, powder cocaine gives you a similar experience, and the high lasts longer than crack cocaine. See, crack cocaine gives you a stronger high, but you come down fast. And when you come down, you crash and burn. So when you take that blast, when you hit the glass, and you all the way up here, but as soon as you come down 10, 15 minutes later, boom, you feel like there's a depression that comes over you that's borderline self-deletion, suicidal. It's borderline that. So with powder cocaine, the high lasts longer, but it's not as intense of a high. And powder cocaine is mad more expensive than crack cocaine. With crack cocaine, at least in the Philly, Jersey, and New York area, you could get a $10 crack, you could get a quarter, you could get a 50. But you ain't have to. But those are the prices for the out of towners. Around the way, 2 for $5s, 3 for $10s, and definitely nicks and dimes. So, oh, by the way, you could get a hit off the glass for $1. I used to always wonder why crackheads they would be asking for like a quarter or, you know, some change. And I used to be like, what? I used to be like, what you got, $4.75? You need a quarter to make $5? No. You could get a hit off the pipe for $1. but you got the second hit. So somebody got to hit it before you, and you got the second hit, the residual hit. Yes, I know all about this crack shit because I've been around a lot of crack. Whether they were drug users or drug dealers, I've been around a lot. Yes, a lot of crack. I've worked with a lot of crackheads. I've been friends with a lot of crackheads. I've had crackheads in my family. So you learn these things. They teach you, but don't do it yourself. So, and I've never sold crack and I've never used drugs. So let's get that out of the way. Just in case y'all was wondering, like, I wonder if he used to sell drugs. No, but I've always wanted to dress like him. Nobody used to dress better than drug dealers. Not anymore, though. They suck. All right. Okay. All right. Single blackjack dealer says, Hilltop. Oh, you grew up in the Hilltop. Oh, with Steady B in them. Okay. Overbrook High School, 1988. Wait a minute, you ain't graduating no 88 because I graduated in 88. And I knew everybody from every high school that graduated in 88. We was like, yeah. I don't care what high school you went to. If you graduated in 88, I knew you. All right. No way said. All right. TK Rice says, my thoughts on the death sentence depends on the crime. Well, normally the crime is murder. Murder. It's with the crime of murder. Murder. Info spot 411. What's good, my dude? What's good? A single blackjack dealer says, to the place called the Plateau where what are you? Yo, y'all gonna stop this Will Smith shit. All right. No way says, I wouldn't do coke no more. Used to. USA 2 stepped on. For those of y'all who don't know, stepped on means cut. So, yeah, it takes, when something has been stepped on, they have decreased the purity by leaps and bounds. So whoever sold you the weight, they cut it or stepped on it. And that's the new word now, stepped on. Right? That shit. Ain't nothing but cut in this coat. Ain't no coat. I'm smoking cut. I'm sniffing nothing but cut. Okay. TK Wright says, when I moved here, I was underwhelmed when I first saw the plateau. Yeah, I can understand. Yo, you know what? I never thought of that. Yeah. Yeah, I can see how that would happen. Like, it's a park. It's a park. Like, this is the famous plateau. And you know what? If you got here in the 2000s, the plateau was. That's when they was starting to bow. Plateau was over. Now, if you had come in the 90s, in the 80s, when that shit was popping just about every day, but on the weekends, that shit was like, it was like going to an amusement park, but it wasn't no rides. I mean, it was literally like that. You're like, wow, all these people here. Systems booming, people cooking out, a whole lot of meeting going on, a whole bunch of meeting and greeting. That was the internet before there was an internet. Yo, I meet you at the Platte. And guess what? I met you at the Platte. Where you know her from? I know her from the Plateau. Where you met him from? Hey, yo, I saw him at the Platte. He was up at the Platte. Yeah, that's where he was at. Yo, in a plush Volvo with seats he sat. The seats was like on some Gucci, MCM, and maybe it's Fendi. Yo, this shit was, yeah. All right. He said, no, he says, I did some Honduras. Best green for 30. Okay. All right. Be careful, my dude. All right. TK Ray says, I know, but I thought that it was going to be bigger. I was like, poor Ting, poor Ting. Yo, that shit is serious. Yeah, I can see. I got nothing. Because after 97, the Greek picnic, all of that shit was dead. It was dead. Okay, TK Wright says sometimes that crime is justified in my opinion. Well, if it's a federal crime, that means that it either took place over covering state lines, which would take it out of the jurisdiction of the state. So if you were doing something like, even if it was just a crime of murder, if you murdered somebody in Jersey and Delaware and Pennsylvania, Maryland, DC, Virginia, something like that, now becomes a federal offense because, you know, especially if there's some kind of trafficking involved. So let's say, you know, you had a connect. You were selling drugs. You had a connect in 4 or 5 states. So you are trafficking and committing federal crimes and maybe even violent crimes over state lines, over multiple state lines. It becomes a federal crime. So even if you weren't the one who pulled the trigger or directly committed the crime of violence, let's just say that, but for the racket that you had going on, those crimes may not have been committed. So that turns it into a federal crime, and potentially with the stringent laws, with the very, very strict laws that were implemented by the 94 crime bill and the war on crime in the 80s, you stood a chance of, I mean, there are plenty of people still sitting in jail to this day from the 80s over crack sales. They were prosecuting that hard over crack sales. And that was one of the things that Joe Biden was saying motivated him to go ahead and commute those sentences, because many of those cases, had they been prosecuted today in today's America and today's justice system, they would have been home. They would have been home. A lot of some of the cases were for weed. Imagine you doing years and years for pounds of weed. Now weed is legal, you know what I mean? But it wasn't legal then. And you think as citizens, we think it should be just as easy. It should be easy as just saying, well, now that those laws have been changed, go ahead and let those people out. And it's like, he didn't commit those crimes when the laws had changed. He committed those crimes when he committed those crimes, and he was guilty. He or she was guilty. So we carry the same types of penalties as other drugs, but there was a big difference between how crack was prosecuted and powder cocaine was prosecuted. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, that's what I need you to do. I need you to hit the like button. Y'all little light on the likes. Y'all can like a little bit more than that. Don't be afraid to like who you like. You know, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. If I like the show, who cares who you like? I said Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. If I love the show, who cares what you like? I said Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. And I love the DG show. Who cares what you like? Yo, do this shit. Get on your bike and ride out. Make sure you go inside out and everything is going to be all right. Pride out. Hit the like button. All of a sudden, don't hit it 2 times. You going to take away mine. I need 1 hit. Yo, do it. Do it. Yo, get on to it. We gonna get through it. Everything'll be all right. Everything is gonna be okay. Yeah. Hey. And what I say to you, hit the like one time. Don't do it two. But you can ask somebody, come along, share that motherfucker show, and share the song. Yo, you shouldn't do it in the vacuum. Don't do it in the box. Yo, do what you got. All right, let's go. X-ray koala. X-ray koala. Single Black Jack dealer says, son out here trying to clown my section of the city. No, I ain't. But I ain't grow up in West Philly. That's where my brothers and them grew up, though. So I spent a lot of time out there. So I'm like, You grew up at the hilltop? You know what I mean? You know, he still got trolleys out there. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? 601 Lansdowne Ave. Oh man, X-ray koalas in the house. Info spot says back in the 80s, Detroit had a bunch of big drug gangs. Cash was a crack cow. I mean, was a cash cow when it came out in the 80s. BMF, baby. BMF, baby. You've seen the show. You know. Listen, man. What? Big Meech just came home. He's still on house arrest, and hopefully he lives through it. You know, a lot of them cats, like the boy, Rayful Edmonds, giant crack dealer down in DC. He just came home a couple of months ago. Dead. Died in the halfway house. They say it was a heart attack. Some people believe that some people think that it was time for him to go home. He came home, it was time for him to go home. He told on a lot of people. He still had his operation going on while he was in jail. And in order to save his own hide, he told on a lot of people. He knew a lot. I mean, he was heavy in the game. He was heavy in the game. He told a lot of people. A lot of people went to jail behind that. I don't know how he lived to be that long. I would have thought somebody in jail would have tipped his hat. But they said, be patient. If we still alive when you come home, you going home. Rest in peace, Rayful Edmonds. He's home. He's home. Matthew Wilson says, but gives his son a full pardon. Yeah, his son deserved a full pardon. I totally agree with it. He should get his full. No way. Shit, let that have been my son. Fuck out of here. I'd be goddamn if I leave Donald Trump to feast on my people. Shit, I'm getting my boy up out of here. Y'all can think what y'all want. Yo, like no way. No way. Info says One Step Act by Trump helped a lot of people doing a lot of years for drug crimes. Then we already covered this. One Step Act. Fuck out of here. No way says I pulled up to a house in Bel Air. Oh God, you still on that shit. All right, TK Wright says gave his son a pardon and we elected a felon as president. My country is wild. That's right, scene flexing. Double tap that joint. Boom, like. Next release. It says, I stopped working to twerk. Thank you. Cheryl Halsey is all up in the house. What's good? All right. Peace, Matthew. Thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate you. No. All right. Info Spot says YBI, Young Boys Incorporated, was the biggest drunk organized gang in Detroit around 83 to 84. Oh yeah. Okay. Huh. Well, ain't that some shit? I mean, people have you believing that BMF was the only thing smoking. But Detroit is a pretty big city. I had to have something else going on. And now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to glorify drug use or drug dealing in any way, because both of those things are destructive things. They're destructive behaviors, and they take you nowhere except for jail or in a casket. There aren't too many other options to explore when it comes to the drug scene. So I'm not going to stand up here and act like everybody who sells drugs is just doing it for a couple of dollars, or that they have all of these other altruistic ambitions. I've known nice drug dealers. I've known mean drug dealers. I've known good drug dealers. I've known bad drug dealers. I've known good drug addicts. I've known bad drug addicts. I've known nice drug addicts. I've known mean drug addicts. I've known drug addicts. I've known crackheads that would help you move for free, or just like a six pack, because they'll drink. You know, if you won't buy them if you won't give them enough money for no crack, then they'll take some beer. As long as they can keep a high going. Keep it high. Even if it's sugar. You know, if you ever been around crackheads, you know that they'll eat a lot of sugar. Anything to keep the high going. And sugar has the same effect of prolonging a cocaine high. So they'd be like, "Oh, you got some lollipops, bubble gum, cake, some breath mints, whatever. Give me something." Info Spot says Detroit had over 1 million people in the 80s. Now Detroit is around 600,000. That was also a factor. Shit. In the 70s, Detroit had almost 2 million people. Philly had 2 million people, and we was the 4th largest city. I think we like something like 7th now. Let me see. Rank cities by population. All right, here we go. God damn. So New York is number 1, like it always is. LA is number 2, like it always is. Chicago is number 3, like it always is and was. This is when things got different. In the 80s and the beginning of the 90s, Philly was number 4. It was the 4th largest city for decades. Now it looks like it's okay. Houston is number 4 now, and Phoenix is number 5 now, and Philly is number 6. Now, so a lot of these other cities were not even in the running before. After Philly, you got San Diego, Austin, Texas, Jacksonville, Florida, Columbus, Ohio. What the fuck? Columbus, Ohio, Indianapolis, San Francisco, Seattle. Now, a lot of these southern states have grown because a lot of people move from up north down south. You know what I think is interesting is that Atlanta is not in the top 10. Obviously, it's not in the top 12. You would think, especially with black people, always talking about, I'm moving to Atlanta. I'm moving to Atlanta. But you know what the problem is? They don't be moving to Atlanta. They be moving to the burbs of Atlanta and saying they moved to Atlanta. You be asking them, yo, oh, you moved to Atlanta? What part? College Park. Decatur. Oh, you got money. Oh, you moved to Buckhead. You moved to Buckhead? You got enough money to move to Buckhead? Yeah, it's not. They don't be moving to Atlanta. They be moving. I mean, I ain't never heard of a place like Atlanta where you can say that you from Atlanta and you not. You can't do that shit in Philly. Let you live in Sharon Hill, Chester, Darby, Abington, Willow Grove. Was talking about something. I live in Philly. Oh, yeah, what part? What high school did you go to? I went to Abington. Where? I went to Abington High. Where? I went to Abington High. Then you ain't from Philly. You're not from Philly. No. You went to a school in an area with a high tax bracket. Y'all still had instruments in music class. Matter of fact, y'all still had music class. Hit the like button, y'all. Share the show. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. So, commuting these sentences to life without parole. Now, T. Carrie Wright told us what her thoughts are on the death penalty. I think I need some more. Like, what do y'all think about the death penalty? I'm kind of on the fence about it. The angry man in me says, if you kill somebody, you should be killed. But I don't really believe in the being killed through the Justice Department thing. I feel like you should be killed on the spot. But then that takes away the ability to find out why. But it also gives the ability for somebody to be able to create a loophole or find a loophole in which they could be exonerated when they honestly did the crime. So fiscally, life without parole actually makes us have to pay for that. There's that part. Life without parole puts the American public in a position to have to pay for that inmate. Every inmate that's in the prison system has to be paid for. Who do you think pays for it? We don't have no prison fund. So our state, if they're in state prisons, our state tax money pays for that prisoner. Even and when it's a private prison, they are able to get state funding and also federal funding and private funding. So it's a mad business. And you can best believe if you open up a prison, that's like having an NFL team. You're going to win. There's almost no way you can lose. So that's what we're working with on that end. That's what we're dealing with. So as far as the death penalty is concerned, I'm going to have to say yes. Because I'm probably more pro yes. Because like if somebody did something like that to my people, to my loved one, took away my people, I'm not going to want them to have a chance to redeem themselves in the eyes of the Lord, or like I ain't trying to hear all that. Like I guess I don't have that level. I haven't reached that level of forgiveness yet. So, but I don't think that, I don't know. That's my quick answer. And I guess it's my number one answer, but I could easily switch to number two, which like, so we sanction it. We think it's okay when the state takes a life, but when a citizen takes a life, we can't excuse that. Or when the military takes a life, which is what they do, but that's what they're trained to do, that's okay. We're okay with that. So we're okay when the military does it, which is the state, which is the government, I should say. And when the government does it, we're okay with it. But private citizens aren't able to make that decision on their own without the consequences of maybe having to stand trial for murder and potentially receiving the death penalty. CK Wright says, I need specifics on what the criminals did before I weigh in on Biden's decision. So, well, like I said, there were a lot of drug crimes. But hold on, give me a second. I'll look up. I'll see what I can find about some of the specific criminals that were involved. All right, we got a call. All right, hold on. You have a call. All right, caller with the last number is 0297. Hold on just a second, and I'm gonna pick you right on up. All right. InfoSpot says mainly auto jobs leaving Detroit area in the late 80s and 90s played a major factor in Detroit losing populace. I mean, a lot of people moved out of Michigan. Like, they decimated Detroit with those jobs. I mean, that was Detroit. Motown, the Motor City. That's where you got your cars from. And General Motors was on top of the world. And I ain't gonna lie, man. That's why sometimes when I was, I drive a Lexus too and a Toyota, and I'm be thinking, like, years ago, I would have never done that. I was like, I'm not driving that shit. And I didn't. I was American all the way. I drive Dodges and shit, you know what I'm saying? Chryslers and Chevys. But at least I ain't buy them new. So I figured if you don't buy it new, it don't really matter. But it does. All right. That's what Lisa says. I was going to say they be living in the burbs of Atlanta. Exactly. Because I don't see Atlanta nowhere. I mean, I don't know how far you got to go down to see where Atlanta is. I'm like, when you go to Atlanta, you don't see, I mean, it seems kind of big, right? There's a whole lot of us down there, but yeah, they don't live that shit. Maybe they work in Atlanta, but they don't live in Atlanta. TK Wright says, just like Mount Vernon is in New York City. That's right, and neither is Long Island. I'm sorry, Long Island. Neither is Long Island. No Way says, I live in Texas. It's down south, moving up north. We fund illegals. What you mean we? You have no idea. I hear more Spanish than English in Texas. Well, Texas is Mexico. It is. You see what Texas looks like? Texas is not, we won Texas. Well, we stole Texas from Mexico. It belongs to Mexico. I mean, love it or hate it. They trying to reclaim they shit. It's theirs. InfoSpot says there's something worse than the death penalty. Life at the federal ADX in Florence, Colorado. Okay, hold on. InfoSpot says death penalty costs taxpayers more money than life in jail in most cases because of the appeal process. All right, I got you on the line, so we can debate that, because people be on death row for a long time, but people with that have received life, they appeal just as much, and they got a lifetime to do it. Okay, hold on. All right. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Okay. Normies waking up. All these MIC wars, just funding and playoffs, payoffs. Okay. Joe Sixpack had a house back then. I don't know what you're talking about. Jen Ramirez. Senorita Ramirez. What's good? What's good? They make Toyotas in USA now. Mine was made in Mississippi, Ford, Chevy. Yeah, they've been making Toyotas in the United States for a long time, but they pushed the American car companies out of there. So technically, a Toyota, a Nissan, a Hyundai, and all that, they are foreign cars. They may have American manufacturing, but none of those parts are American parts. And even in American cars now, they don't have American parts in that shit no more. America, the auto industry is dead. That shit is dead, and it's not coming back. Trump can talk all that shit he want. The American labor costs a lot of money. Ain't nobody around the world going to pay that shit when you can get sweatshop labor for cheap. It's a different world now. So you can try to go back to the 50s all you want. Info Spot, what's good? How you feeling, my dude?
I'm doing good. This is Info Spot 41 YouTube channel at Detroit, but that's what I'm in the chat. Oh, wow, a few things comment on real quick with the auto in Detroit. I believe it's on Amazon, a lot of streaming services. If anybody hasn't seen it, it's a good documentary made back in the 80s. Roger and me, Michael Moore, about the decimation of Flint, Michigan. Up until like the mid 80s, early 80s, Flint had a little over 20 General Motors automotive plants. And now there's only one major automotive plant left in Flint. They make like the Chevy and GMC trucks, these with the big dualies on it, you know, power, the big diesel motors. But it's, well, back in the like 80s and 90s, it used to be true, but like I kind of look at it too when it comes to buying just Japanese, let's say, cars and American. You have American cars being made in Mexico, for example. I had a Ford Fusion. I loved that damn car some years back, but it was made in Mexico, where some of these Hondas and Toyotas, I would argue that you're better off buying them if they're made in Ohio or made, I think it's Alabama, Georgia, where they have the plants, because at least you're supporting American labor. And like you said, which is so true, about, I'd say 90% of the parts on these vehicles, or 85 to 90% are made in Mexico and China. You know, your Ford, Chevy, your big three. Well, I don't even really say it's the big three anymore. Chrysler's owned by that company Stellantis out of France. They just keep that name, you know, because it's been so many years people, you know, recognize. But even they're having big troubles because Detroit still has, well, Detroit area, we got the headquarters for the big three for Ford, GM, and Stellantis, Chrysler. GM's in the city and then Ford's out. But yeah, I kind of look at it that way, you know. But that's basically the big decimation. And if you ever get a chance, anyone check out that movie Roger Me, because that's kind of what happened in Detroit too, with automotive jobs, where you know, they just went bye-bye. Two different reasons. That's what T. Carey wanted me to call in, talk a little bit about that federal, it's called it's referred to as the ADX. It's in Florence, Colorado. I believe it opened in 93, 94. 60 Minutes did a story on this joint. And they interviewed like one of the former wardens from the 90s who worked there for like 5 or 6 years. But it's basically your modern day Alcatraz, or you could consider it a hell on earth. The bomber of the World Trade Center from the early 90s, if he's still alive, he's been in there for life. The Boston Marathon bombers, they're in there. The Unabomber.
He didn't commute theirs. Yeah, he didn't commute their sentences. He said, fuck that.
Yeah, he's at this ADX. I mean, literally, a good portion of this ADX is like a one-man cell. They get 1 hour out of that cell, and it's basically like an in-ground swimming pool, and it's covered where they can have light come through. Then they're just marched in the cage where they can only walk around the cage. It's like, and it goes underground. Nobody is escaped from there. And then what was it that? Remember the guy? He's still alive. I think it was Sammy Gravano, who worked for John Gotti, was the hitman. He cut that deal with the
Sammy the Bull, yeah.
He got in trouble
again
for some shit a couple times. And anyway, he had to do like 2 years at that place, and he did like a podcast interview with on YouTube, talking about. I mean, just it. But why I say it's worse than the death penalty to me is it's like psychological mental torture that you're just living day after day for the rest of your effing life. You know, at that federal ADX, they force fed people that try to go on hunger strikes or, but if you go on, you look it up on YouTube, that there's the 60 minutes thing on it for like, it's close to a half hour. It's like, woo, but I guess it's how you look at it, you know? What was it? Oh, with the death row in states, I didn't believe it at first when I found out about this. I was taking my criminal justice classes years ago, but in most states, it costs more giving capital punishment to somebody versus life in jail, because the appeals process, the state has to keep paying for the prosecution, the attorney, all this shit involved. When a lot of times it's like close to almost 10 appeals. And then there's all these organizations and groups, kind of similar to like the ACLU, not saying the ACL, but similar to them, where they themselves. Yeah. It's like I say, that's not always the case, but you know, I'm not totally opposed to capital punishment, you know, especially some stuff that's just so severe.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, hey, you just wipe them off the face of the earth. Let's get justice taken care of here. But, you know, each is their own. There have been cases of some people have been found out years later, that they were innocent.
That has happened.
Yeah. But yeah, nothing's perfect. So what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be collateral damage in anything that happens in this world. There's no way that, you know, we're just going to have these perfect policies or anything like that. But you have to kind of weigh the good versus the bad, the what's going to be helpful versus what's going to be harmful. So the way our justice system was supposed to be set up was that it would be better for us to let a guilty person go free than to lock up a person that's not guilty. That's supposed to be the way. That's supposed to be the idea behind our justice system. As we can see, there's a lot of disparagement as far as who gets prosecuted, and as far as the fairness is concerned and things like that. So it's not always easy. It's not always easy, and the justice isn't always balanced. There are always going to be mistakes. There are always going to be personal agendas, and there are always going to be people who are going to abuse the system, and those who are going to get abused by the system or used by the system unjustifiably. So, you know, you kind of have to make a decision about which way you want to go with it. So that's why, just like you, I'm not totally against the death penalty, because it could happen to me, and it's easy to say what you're against when you don't have to deal with it yourself on a personal level. But then when it comes to visit you, you know, in your home, when you have to make funeral arrangements, when you have to live without that person, when you have to deal with the sorrow, when you have to unpack it yourself, when you have to live with the memory of someone who probably should still be here and who's not anymore, things change. The whole narrative of how you look at things change too. So that's when you may selfishly want something to happen for you. So there are going to be times when you have to decide which one you want. Are you pro death penalty or aren't you? So I can't say that I'm totally not. I just would like to have more a more of a fair balance in our justice system where certain things, whether they are extenuating circumstances are involved or whatever, I believe that those things should be taken into consideration. But if you've done what you've done, you've done what you've done. And in the case of murder or whatever, where life has been taken, you can't bring that person back. We can always find a way to make money again. And even if we are hurt but still alive, we can find a way to cope, get through life and possibly recover or be born into a life of being handicapped. But when you talk about taking a life, there's something to be said about that. We have to take that. We have to look at that we have to grade that on a different scale than we do other more first world type of crimes. You know what I mean? Like, so when I think about the death penalty, and you're right, like the ACLU and other private organizations that advocate when they advocate for death row victims, when they really believe that they should be exonerated or they think that they should be acquitted of crimes, or they think that they never should have been arrested and prosecuted because they really didn't commit the crime. And that happened. There have been high profile cases where that has happened, like with Hurricane, the movie Hurricane that
Reuben Carter.
Yeah. So and he's not the only one, but that was a high profile case. Had he not been who he was, we can't really say if he would have gotten the pro bono help that he received. Everybody doesn't get it. And unfortunately, in the justice system, those who have money to be able to afford good legal counsel, they reap the benefits of being able to do that. Even if they lose the case, they've been known not to receive as harsh of sentences, you know what I mean? And they've been able to work some things out even in the commission of their sentences, like maybe conjugal visits or certain things. Lawyers talk to each other. So whether we're talking about the defense lawyer, the prosecutor, the judges, they all work together. They don't necessarily conspire, but there have been times where there have been evidence to support that happens also. Hey, that's the world we live in. So I would like to see crimes being prosecuted fairly instead of the imbalance that we've seen. But I mean, if you took a life, I mean, even morally, do you deserve to just be here?
Well, let me ask you this: the Boston Marathon bombing. I know it's one of the guys. I think I'm not sure if the second guy is in there, but anyway, one of the Boston Marathon bombers. You got a lot of family members that are, they've lost other family members, in that bombing, that terrorist act. They're in the federal ADX. They're basically living a world of hell each day, Would you want them living in misery for the rest of their born life at that federal ADX prison? Or you want them just strapped down and here comes a lethal injection? There's no right or wrong answer. I'm not here to debate you. I'm just, curious on your opinion on that.
The thing is, the death penalty process takes a long ass time. So so that you get arrested today for killing multiple people, let's say, and then by the time you actually get prosecuted, can take a year or more. You know what I mean? It's been known to happen. Then, if you are sentenced to death, we probably won't see you in a grave for another 10 or 15 years. Like you look at Cool C, the rapper from Philly. Cool C. It was the one who shot the cop, shot and killed the first female who died in the line of duty, and it was a black woman too. He shot and killed her while they were robbing a bank, and you know he was sentenced to death. Now that he was sentenced to death in 1995. You know what I mean? Like it's been exactly 30 years coming up. So, you know, and I don't think that he's ever going to be killed. I don't think it's going to happen. So the death penalty for a lot of people turns out to be life without parole. Some people die waiting to die. You know what I mean? You mess around and get diabetes or a heart condition or some shit like that. Yeah. You know, before you actually die. So the other part about them living under harsh conditions or horrific conditions and all of that, I don't know how well somebody else can adjust to things that I may not be able to adjust to because I've never been exposed to them. Mm-hmm. But I know if I was the criminal that was being sentenced to death, I would take my chances in the worst federal prison rather than the death penalty. Because I figure as long as I'm alive, I can find a way. I can find somebody to represent my case. I can, you know, I by the luck of the draw, some president, some Congress member, somebody, some governor may say, you know what, no more death penalty for you in this state. You know, it could happen. So I would take my chances with life without parole. I still got a chance to even try to escape. I mean, people have done it. You know what I'm saying? I may not escape forever, but hey, so if I'm choosing for somebody else, it's going to be hard for me not to let my emotions get the best of me. And of course, I'm going to probably choose the death penalty for them. Yo, you out of here. As long as the blood ain't on my hands. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's a different. We can all call for somebody's head as long as we don't have to be the one to take the head.
We're not the executioner.
Exactly. You know, it makes the whole process a lot different when you're the one who actually has to carry it out, because you have to deal with your soul, your soul feeling like it's not in alignment with good or righteousness or whatever, you know, whatever you have to deal with. Shout out to Ethan Rudy and Hack Oliak. Oh, what up? He says, why should the white man's law apply to the brother? Because he made it up. you know, like I understand the question that you're asking, but we in America we practice English law, English common law. That's what we practice here. So we don't exactly have a black law that we could, you know, speak to. I don't know how they used to do it in Africa, or if you believe that we're indigenous. I'm not sure how they used to do it. You know,
historically, you would have a point. If you go back some years historically, but speaking on current day, that's where I'd argue no. But I totally agree with income inequality is probably the biggest problem in that legal system. If we're talking like current day, me and you, let's say, go somewhere, we get in a fight outside a bar, but the difference is I got, let's say, family that has major buku money, you know, and I can get the best attorney or a law firm in the state of Pennsylvania, and you're probably looking at getting a public defender or barely being able to find an attorney you could, use like scrape together like $6 or $7 grand. You're going to be looking at basically maybe just trying to get the best little plea bargain you can, where I could probably get off with the slap on the wrist if not get it, thrown out. In general, can't speak on everything, but yeah, I totally agree with you on the current day problem, income equality in the legal system.
Yeah,
for sure.
most I know as far as black criminals are concerned, many of them have taken deals because they didn't understand the criminal justice system and they couldn't afford good legal counsel. If you don't have money for a lawyer and the state appoints a public defender for you, that's your ass. You're done. If it's a serious crime, because he doesn't have time and resources to be able to investigate the details of your crime. He has to go straight off of the police reports and things like that. He has to go straight from the discovery of the DA. Now, even though a public defender is more than qualified to be able to dissect the discovery and all of the evidence that they have against his client, he doesn't have the time to do it. Where a private lawyer may only be dealing with 5, 6, maybe 10 clients that are spread out with different crimes. A public defender may be dealing with double digit caseload of all kinds of crimes. So this guy has a DUI. This guy has a shoplifting charge. This guy over here just didn't pay his tickets. This guy over here, murder? Oh shit! This one over here has an attempted murder. This one over here has a assault and battery, simple assault, aggravated assault. He doesn't have time. So what they normally do is they encourage their clients to go ahead and take the deal. Hey, listen, man, the evidence against you is pretty strong and blah 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 blah. And the client may have done it, or they may not have. They may have been close to it to the point where they can't snitch, but they don't know what their options are. One thing a public defender doesn't have the time to do is explain your rights to you, and your rights are your options. So they just funnel them out of the system. Take the deal. Because if you don't take the deal, you're going to get convicted anyway. You might as well go ahead and take the deal. The deal is better than the conviction. Even though the deal is the conviction, but it seems like it's better than what you would have gotten. You're looking at 15 to 20 years. They say they're going to let you off with 7 to 13. I'm like, okay, if you didn't do this shit, you shouldn't cop out to it. But you don't really have a choice. You can't afford a lawyer. And even if you get a private lawyer, let's say you had enough money to retain a lawyer. So we got the retainer fee. All right. So you were able to secure a lawyer, retain a lawyer for, let's say, $20,000. Now he wants $60,000 to fight your case. Well, you ain't got $60,000. The $20,000 that you gave him was really all you had, and you may be able to come up with 10 more. Well, guess what? His fee is $60,000. Now he can't drop your case because he's your lawyer. You retained him, but he doesn't have to prosecute your. He doesn't have to fight your case effectively. So what a lot of defense lawyers will do, because they don't want to get the reputation of getting people off who haven't paid them, because that's going to, he doesn't want to get famous around the way for that. So everybody is jerking him after they retain him. You understand what I'm saying? So now he's going to have to start retaining people for $60,000, basically the whole ride and shit. So legally he can't do that. But anyway, so if you don't pay him all his money, guess what? He can act like he don't know the discovery. He can act like he didn't have any evidence that would have exonerated you.
You don't have to object on anything. Just let you flow, get this trial over with quick.
If you don't know the law, you don't know what questions to ask. You don't even know to ask, well, what evidence does the state have against me? And he's like, well, they have witnesses that say this, that, and the third. He ain't telling you about the witnesses that said he didn't do the shit. And you don't know that you have a right to see the shit. Well, let me see what you got. Open your files. Let me open that briefcase. Let's see what you got. I have a right to see. And you do. But you don't know that because you're already afraid. You know that you're in a lot of trouble and you feel like you don't know enough to be able to speak in your own defense or whatever, and you've been encouraged not to. So you're at the mercy of this lawyer. And even though you had enough money to get a good lawyer, he's not going to be a good lawyer for you because you didn't pay him. So now your ass is going up the river. So we have to deal with that in the criminal justice system. This shit is crazy. There's a lot to it, and what you don't know can't help you. And lawyers deal with a lot of things that you don't know. They actually get paid to make sure you don't know what they know. That's almost what you're paying them for. I need you to represent me with what you don't know what you know and that I don't know. Even though you should be paying them to tell you everything that they know. So it's tough. It's tough. Hack Holiak says defund the police. Well,
no. Well, go ahead with your thoughts on that.
Well, defunding the police doesn't mean what people think it means. They think this shit means like take away the police department or take away all of their money. It doesn't mean that. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that. But because the public thinks that's what it means, people don't like to talk. They keep that out of politicians' mouths because you're not gonna win no elections with no defund the police. Ask what was the dude? Oh shit, Jamie Harrison, who ran against Lindsey Graham in South Carolina. He was talking all of that defund the police shit. He lost. He really was. He had a good showing. But like, yo, all that rabble rousing and shit, ain't a good look for you, black man. It ain't a good look for nobody, but it ain't gonna work for you. Yo, you still in South Carolina, dumbass. But hey, he rolled the dice and lost. So
that's a big Republican state there.
Listen, as bad as Lindsey Graham is, he beat him. And Jamie Harrison was a good opponent. He was a good candidate. But yeah, you can't talk that defund the police shit. You're not winning no elections with that. And because all black people don't believe in defunding the police. Contrary, I know stereotypically it looks like we all hate the police. I know I do, but no, everybody doesn't. My people call the cops just like everybody else does. So yeah, that's fuck all that. That defund the police shit, yeah, that ain't getting us nowhere. But plus, it ain't gonna happen. Name a place where they defunded the police. It's just like something to say. It's like black people with reparations. All right, I digress. God damn it. All right, but anyway, some shit is gonna happen during our lifetime, and some shit ain't. But yeah, the whole I don't have a problem with him commuting those death sentences to life without parole. I don't have a problem with it, especially dealing with the case with some of the cases that I know about that he commuted. I'm thinking like, yeah, that is not a death penalty worthy case. And because I was so ingrained or close to the drug scene in Philly back in the day, I lost a lot of people, whether they went to jail or whether they got killed. But it was all intertwined. It was all due to crack cocaine, and that's whether you were murdered or whether you OD'd or whatever happened to you. So yeah, I agree, and I also agree with the ones he didn't commute. I agree with that. Like, I mean, the Boston Marathon bomber? No, don't. Nah. You know what I mean? We can't have people fucking up public events like that. I mean, it's the Boston Marathon. Come on.
Well, a public terrorist attack. To me, it was just as bad as we could talk another 2 hours about all the, like mass shootings. When you talk, gosh, was that Sandy Hook? You just, I still have a hard time wrapping my mind around. I can understand, let's say, a shooting that happens in some minors die, and it's let's say it's between two rival drug gangs, or just it's a gang shooting. You can have some understanding, but just going into school and just mowing down some now there has been a couple of them, or some that happened in the 80s, but it was that main one in Colorado. And then it seemed like a copycat, and it became more and more and more.
Yeah.
But that'd be a topic for a whole nother show. But anyway, if someone's listening, if they're interested, I kind of consider it like the hell on earth that you can watch the 60-minute story on YouTube on the federal ADX prison. Thing, but okay, I get what in the Detroit's talking about. Basically a psychological living hell what some of these people go through. But sometimes to me, hey, justice needs to be served. And, I ain't going to bring back a loved one, but I kind of look at it like, okay, strap them down to the table. Like, I'll give you an example. The Oklahoma City, was it McVeigh or McNichols or some shit there? The guy who drove the truck with the fertilizer bomb and blew up that front of that Oklahoma City building. I think it took about 7 years or so, and then he got that the federal death penalty, and they strapped him down, gave him a lethal injection, and some of the victims and other people showed up there, and they can't bring back the life, but hey, justice was served. So, yeah. And then the public defender you were talking about earlier, the old joke on that one is the plea bargain specialist. They'll sit down and they'll be like, okay, well, this, the state has a case here against you. You got here domestic violence, assault and battery on a police officer, and then you also have fleeing and looting. I could take this to court if you feel you're innocent of this stuff, but if you're found guilty, you're going to definitely be looking at 10 years or more. But I can get you this plea bargain. You're going to do 4 to 5 years. You'll be out. In about 5, 6 years, whatever, blah blah blah. And they'll tell them that straight up. They're like, oh, damn. And they'll just let them, like, well, if that's what you want. But they're pretty much telling you, hey, I go to trial, you're fucked. But yeah, that's what you get. So it'd be nice if it was a perfect world.
It sure would. I did find the 3 death row inmates that he didn't commute. So one of them is, damn, how do you pronounce the Boston Marathon bomber's name?
It's a kind of, I think, an Arabic name or Lebanese name.
Yeah. It's like, okay, Zokar, Zarnav, some shit like that. But yeah, let's see. Was convicted in 2013 Boston Marathon bombing that killed 3 people and injured more than 260 people. Last year marked the 10th anniversary since the 2013 attack. All right, let's go to the next one. Robert Bowers. Robert Bowers was convicted in the 2018 anti-Semitic attack that left 11 worshipers dead at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. The mass shooting is considered the deadliest attack on Jews in U.S. history. 7 others were wounded. All right. And Dylan Roof, this motherfucker. Dylan Roof was convicted of killing 9 people in 2015 in a mass shooting at Mother Emanuel, a historic black church in Charleston, South Carolina. In 2017, Roof became the first person in the U.S. sentenced to death for a federal hate crime. Authorities have said Roof opened fire during the closing of prayer. The closing prayer of a Bible study at the church, raining down dozens of bullets on those assembled. Yeah, he was 21 at the time. So yeah, I definitely agree that they shouldn't have been commuted to life. So I agree with that. Now there are 37 others that he did commute. And I'm interested. I wish. Let me see if I can find like if I can find a case by case list of the ones who did get commuted. Let me see. I'll just do it like this. List of death row convicts that Joe Biden commuted to life without parole. Let's see. 37 out of 40. All right. Okay, I know these two, Anthony George Battle and Thomas Stephen Sanders. Let me see. See if we can get it. Okay. It gave the same three who didn't. I guess the ones who didn't get who didn't get commuted, I guess is easier. But it says list of federal death row prisoners. Okay. Oh, well, I guess since they're the only three left, they're the only three federal death row. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of them are usually state charge, if I'm not mistaken. Like if you take the Boston Marathon bomber or some of these mass shootings, you know, like was it Aurora, Colorado, the one who went in the movie theater, they caught him. And then right here in Michigan, that high school, the Oxford High School, which is about 45 minutes from me, they arrested the parents on some gun charge and some other deal, and then the kid who shot and killed the 4 or 5 people in the high school.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like state charges. But yeah, I think though, gosh, sometimes even the state charges might send the federal ADX. Okay. There are certain things where someone like somebody who's escaped a state prison once can go to like the federal ADX, as well as like some people that have been incarcerated in a couple state prisons and they've killed or, you know, done serious harm to correctional staff.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get shipped there. So it's not always just people who've been prosecuted by the federal government that go there.
Yeah. Okay. Now I did find, I found like, I think about 9 other people of the ones who were commuted to life. So here's a little list. All right, let's see. Okay, hold on. I'll take this call, but I'll put it on hold.
You have a call from.
Okay. So the first is disgraced former New Orleans police officer Lynn Davis, who operated a drug ring involving other officers and arranged a woman's murder, is among those who. Now I remember that case. I know of that one. I watch a lot of ID channels, so of course okay. And Billy Allen, who had been on federal death row for 27 years, said he felt great relief after Biden commuted his sentence. Allen was convicted of murdering a security guard during a bank robbery in Missouri in 1997. He has always maintained his innocence. Let me see. Speaking to BBC's Radio 4 World Tonight program in Terre Haute Prison in Indiana, Allen said inmates were excited they were no longer facing death when he learned of the decision. Okay, all right. Who else? Oh, fuck. Okay, no. Ah, fuck. Ah. I thought they were gonna have more. They only had that 2. They only had that 2. Rats. Okay, I thought they were gonna. Yeah, I thought I found something good here. They just want to concentrate on those damn 3.
No, all right. But anyway, I'm gonna get going. I know you got a caller on hold, and
Okay.
if you're curious, check it out. Or anyone in the chat here, listen to the show. The Federal ADX Florence, Colorado on YouTube, 60 minutes. It's got like a nice little segment on it, a documentary. I consider it a little worse than the death penalty. Not saying it is. It's just my opinion. But hey,
Yeah.
I'll be in the chat enjoying your show.
I appreciate you, my dude. Thanks
Yeah,
for
you
calling
bet.
in.
Okay. Yep. Bye.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to go with, first of all, thanks for calling in, my dude. I appreciate you. And anyone else who would like to call in, express yourself. Remember, there's no censorship when you call in on the line. In the chat, there is censorship because YouTube ain't having it. Community standards, you understand. But if you call in 267-874-1949, you can call, say whatever you want to say it how you want to say it as many times as you want to say it. Get it off your chest. Relieve your mind, reduce the stress. 267-874-1949. We still have a few minutes left in the show. We are talking about coming home for Christmas. Well, they're not actually coming home, but 37 federal death row inmates had their sentences commuted to life without parole. Joe Biden did that over the weekend. It's a very controversial move. Some people agree with what he did. A lot of people say, "Oh, no, not cool, not cool." I think it's pretty cool. I do, but you can say the way you want to, the way you feel about it, whether you do it in the chat or whether you call into the show. All right. So what, Elon? What do you think about Elon dropping the hard R? Yeah, Elon. You mean the co-president of the United States, the real president? All right. We have a caller on the line. Caller with the last number is 9843. Welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. Thank you for holding. What's on your mind tonight? What's good? Are you there? Caller, last number is 9843. Are you there? 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 Are you? Are you there? Are you there? Are you? Are you? I can hear you, but can you hear me? Yo, if you do, then let me see. Let me hear you. Let me hear your voice. Yo, do the thing. Say the words of choice. What? Yo, I know that you called into the show. I had to put you on hold. Yeah, act like you know. But if you hear the sound of my voice, if you hear the sound of my tone, yeah, yo, go to get it on. Yo, everything will be all right. Yeah, we do this thing on a fly Monday night, going into Tuesday. We start at 2:00 in the morning. Yeah, we got it going on. I hope that you understand the thing we doing. We always trying to do this thing, and we always pursuing the positive way of life. And I'm trying to reduce the stress and strife. Trying to get kids and a wife. I'm trying to live my life also peaceful. But I lost yesterday, and I wasn't gleeful. Yeah, the Eagles dropped the third loss, and I was mad because I wasn't really trying to beat the cost. That one that I had to pay, but it's all right. We still live another day. All right. I'm going to leave her line open anyway. Cam, you can call in. Oh, never mind. He says, what a fool this guy. Oh, never mind. Bro can't use a phone. Nah, I don't know. They may have, when I put them on hold, they may have put me on. Wait a minute. Did I hear something? Caller, last number is 9843. Are you there? Are you there? Are you there?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm feeling like a real man should. I'm
yeah,
good.
I'm here. Mm.
All right. What's on your mind tonight?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
I'm here.
All right.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Hi, how you doing?
Feeling like a real man should. I feel great. What's going on with you?
Okay. No, I was just I was sitting here. I've been listening to the show on there. I was thinking about, I was just listening to everything, and I'm kind of on the fence about the death row situation too. But you know, I lost a son to street death. Back in the days, the 80s and the 90s, there was so much killing going on. The streets were basically the streets, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which was wrong, but that's what they were doing. And I think back on the birth of my grandbaby, March 21st, 2009. This young man killed 4 police. I didn't remember Oscar Grant in California.
No, I didn't hear about that one, or I don't remember hearing about that one.
Okay, that was at the BART station.
Okay.
The police murdered him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy named Mr. Grant, the police were just arresting him. He was just coming in out of West Oakland, out in Cali. But that man, I guess he just lost it. But one witness, they put him on TV, and he said, this is for Oscar Grant. And this is what it was 2 motorcycle police. He put down 2 motorcycle police and then 2 other police. They got it. They took his life too. But he gave his life, you know, because of the stuff that was going on out here. There's so much killing, police killing, and all of that. But when it comes to the capital punishment, it's hard to say because, like I said, you know, I lost my daughter's husband. He was killed. He was only given 8 years, you know. And I was like, that was so unfair, and just the thing was so appalled at it. But anyway, it's just hard saying, and the way the world is right now, with our younger children coming up, I don't know what it's going to look like in the next. I'm looking at the next maybe 5 or 6 years, and especially with what's his name, Trump coming into office. I don't know what's going to happen, you know. But again, like I said, it's like this. Say for instance, if I'm somewhere and I had one of my grandbabies with me, well, I'm going to take you. You know, if you're trying to take mine, this has happened so many times. You know, people run up and snatch your child and what have you.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it is. It's like I say, it depends on the crime too, you know. But at the same time, it's hard. I don't know. It's not a perfect world. I wish it was, but it's not. And like I said, I don't see it being a perfect world until Jesus comes back for us. But anyway, I've been enjoying the show, and yeah, but good evening, and God bless everyone. Okay.
Well, hold on, but just before you go, let me just ask you: what are your feelings about the death penalty and overall? Like, how do you feel about it? Do you agree with it, or no?
Well, it's hard to say no. You know what? I'm gonna say it like this. I say it depends on the crime. That's the way I look at it. Let's say, for instance, somebody raped and murdered a little child or something.
Right.
Yes, I think they should be put to death. Now, that's just an example. But there's some of the other crimes that people have been put away, and yeah, their lives have been taken. What? Who was that? About 4 months ago. What was his name?
Wait a minute. Wait, what happened? What happened?
Yeah, I believe so. About 4 months ago. Yeah. And then they said they had new evidence. I don't know. I wasn't following the story. But in some cases, you have to say, yes, it's kind of like a yes and no thing, you know. But in some cases, I do believe that the death penalty is the right thing to do.
Yeah, it may be.
You know?
I can't, just like you, I think that the punishment kind of needs to fit the crime if it can,
Right.
you know. But I don't know, because sometimes, most of the time when the death penalty is implemented or sentenced, somebody else is, you know, a crime of murder has been committed. They don't normally charge people with the death penalty if nobody has been killed. However, you can for your own thought process, you can, like, just like you were saying, in cases of rape where somebody may not have lost their life, but they may have lost a good part of their life, you know, like, I'm not so sure if I would disagree that, let's say if you were a serial rapist,
Right.
so you raped all of these women or men or whatever, however it went. So you are obviously a menace to society.
Exactly.
I'm not so sure if I would be against the death penalty for somebody like that. They may not sentence them to death, but I'm not so sure if they did sentence somebody like that to death. I'm not so sure if I would be against it. I'm not sure if I would have a problem with it.
Right, exactly. Because it has been so many things, you know, and you know, you say, well, it's the way. Well, our judicial system it's just all messed up, you know.
It is
all messed up.
It is.
And whereas they built all these private prisons, and it is a hard question to answer. But like I said again, if it comes to the fact where let's just say even a couple of years ago, this man ran up and tried to snatch this woman's child. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if thank God there were other people around to help her, but let's just say he did snatch her child and take her child away.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing good don't come out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just even if he was able to get the child, I don't know what his intentions was to do. So we're just not in the perfect world, and we have to do what we our cognizant tells us to do. Yeah. So yeah, but now with the death penalty, I agree with it on some things, and some things I don't.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can answer it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with that. So thank you. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
You have a good night.
Good evening. See you and all.
Right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Good call. All right. So we still rolling. We still good. Everything is all right. All right. So I mean, basically, I guess the general synopsis or the general consensus of most of us is that death penalty, sometimes yeah, sometimes no, but for the most part, and I think I'm speaking for anyone who was directly asked, it seems like we're not totally against it. We're not totally for it. And so maybe we're okay with the 37 inmates that he commuted to life without parole. Maybe there's a silent majority out there that doesn't agree. But one thing is for sure is that he's the president of the United States for the time being until January 20th. And so he has the power to implement to put forth these executive orders. And that's what he's doing. And there may be more reasons or explanations behind this, but this is how it's going down. And I don't disagree with his decision to do this. Being as though I know some of the crimes that have been committed that I don't think should have probably gone to death row. And like I said, some of the inmates have maintained their innocence the whole time. Could they have been wrongly convicted? Maybe, but now we'll have a chance for them to be able to fight for their lives and possibly show us all something that could be a flaw in the system. Let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious December 23rd, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box. Latanya Jackson, happy birthday to you. And also Felicia Alert James, happy birthday to you. And Habiba Muhammad and Latanya Coleman Smith and Lovejoy and Shana Oliver, Carnell A. Smith Jr., Mark Allen, Natalie Maxwell. And that's last but not least. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious December 23rd, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and go hard, go for your go hard, go for yours, and remember, hey yo, I'm going to say this before I say anything else. We will be back tomorrow night. I'm not sure if we're going to come on at 1 because there's a possibility I may leave work early tomorrow, but I do have to work tomorrow. It'll be 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. You know, listen, tomorrow is Christmas Eve. So, I mean, there's a part of me that doesn't, you know, some people open up presents and congregate and all that kind of stuff at midnight, you know, Christmas Eve going into Christmas Day. So it's a big family holiday and I don't want to impede on that, you know, but there will be a show tomorrow. If I do not see y'all here until maybe even Thursday, I want y'all to have a safe, happy, Merry Christmas, a happy holiday. Please bond with your family. Enjoy the time that y'all have together. Whether you celebrate these times, these holidays religiously, or whether you just use them in this commercial sense, there is a way for you to that is a way for you to bond with old people that you may not have seen in a while. Give gifts, receive gifts. It's a festive time, and it's also the time of year where a lot of forgiveness is shown, a lot of favor is shown, and a lot of love is spread around. So for what it's worth, take advantage of it. And if I see y'all here tomorrow night, great. And if I don't, I'll see you again, because we will be here on Christmas night too. Christmas going into the 26th. So with that being said, yo, all the inmates, raise your hand if you're watching this show right now. You the man. I said all the inmates, Raise your hand, and if you're watching this show right now, you the man. I don't see how you could be possibly watching this show, but they be having all kinds of phones in jail, yo, and they be making it away because they can making they stay a little better for yesterday and today and tomorrow. Yo, the sorrow might be reduced when you know you're coming home, about to get loose. And when you come home, you gonna have a better way of living. Everything is gonna be all right. Thanksgiving has already passed. Yo, Christmas is tomorrow. Or what we gonna do? Yo, wipe your tears and sorrow. Their life is gonna get better for you. So don't worry about nothing. Yeah, I'm still here for you. Everything is gonna be okay. We're gonna rock this shit. We're gonna have our way. We're gonna have a little turkey and some collard greens and maybe a little bit of pie, and some of y'all gonna get high, but don't get too high. All things in moderation. Yeah, I say that shit now. Y'all gonna get so high, y'all gonna lay down and also have a little itis. So don't worry about a little something. Yo, just go invite us to the party. We party together, whether it's internet or in person. We know worse than anybody else can do they stuff. So we gotta hit back and relax, because sometimes life is tough. Peace to y'all. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. You know what I mean? Y'all get the notification. You'll get the notification. Don't worry not. Worry not. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. It's time for me. I can go ahead and take my uniform off. Yes. That's like about 3 pounds, maybe 4 pounds off the neck. That might be like 4 pounds. No bullshit. Let me take the uniform off of you too. You can get out of these scrubs. You're good? You're good? Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. Daily Go Get a Mism Show. Peace, y'all.